What's up, y'all? I hope y'all enjoy my Halloween costume. Welcome back to another exciting week of this live stream here on Facebook. As always, my name is Kojo. I'm your host, checking in from what was a sunny day here in Los Angeles, California. We're going to be talking about three things that it's okay to be a little scared about. We'll talk about anxiety, but before we do that, go ahead and use the comment section. These glasses are going to throw me off. Use the comment section to let me know who you are and where you're checking in from. And if you can guess my Halloween costume, should be pretty easy. If you're a football fan, you should know what I'm trying to be here. So let's go ahead and get into it. First shout out of the day. Let's give it to Austin. Austin says caught our live stream. Hey Austin, you caught our live stream. Austin, what's going on? Katie Shedder. Katie, what's up? How are you doing? Let's see everybody else checking in. Kendra, what's up? What's up? Thank you for being one of the moderators. Muffet from New York. Muffet, what's up? Keely from Australia. Patty from Prince Edward Island. Is that it? Canada. Yeah, Tori in the house. You got Seth in the Philippines. Stacy, Montana. You better be working. Hey, Dustin, you're right. You're right. It's just for Halloween. Tighten up. First love of the show goes to Dustin. You're completely right. From Oklahoma, I was you were Adam Sandler. Oh, that's dope. I wish we could drop pictures in the chat. Austin checking from Utah. So, hey, Austin, I'm happy you're here. Melissa, Virginia Beach. Michael, what's up? What's up? Danielle, Pennsylvania. Veronica, yes, we're actually live right now. Tori from the Bronx. Marie from Houston. Anissa from Guyana. I appreciate you. Tiffany from Georgia. Love from St. Louis, Virginia. People from all over. Halloween with my daughter, and it couldn't be better nice. So, hey, I appreciate that. I love the love. Thank you so much. Kelly says, what Kelly say? I'm Kelly from a small town upstate New York. Can you do your dance for us? I apologize for the squeaky noise, though. Hate that. And yes, we are currently live. And Brett, 5-2. Your Tennessee Titans are 5-2. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I feel like we have our division on lock, but we gotta take our time. All right, so this live stream, we're gonna talk about three things that it's okay to be a little scared of. Right? Keep in mind the key word is a little scared, right? If you're scared about everything all the time, then we're talking about anxiety, and anxiety is a common emotion, but it can get to the point where it's an actual condition, right? Whether it's and I'm gonna get out of this chair. I can't do the sound. Sorry. Can't do that chair. I don't feel like having sensory overload today. All right. Can't do it. I can't do it. All right. So we're talking about anxiety today, right? Like I said, anxiety is the most common mental health condition. It's okay to be a little anxious from time to time, but you can definitely get to a point where anxiety can dominate your life, and it's not going to make life fun, right? But it's okay to be a little scared sometimes, right? Tonight's Halloween, and we're talking about three things that it's okay to be a little scared about, right? So we're gonna go ahead and, without further ado, we're gonna drop the first one into the chat. The first thing that it's okay to be a little scared about, right? All right, I just dropped number one in there, and Sandra says panic disorder has dominated my life for years. All right, so Sandra, thank you for sharing. I'm sorry that that's been going on with you. Panic disorder can be quite scary, right? And panic disorder, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but this is the one time where most providers, most doctors are comfortable giving, benzos, right? This is when a lot of times we pull out the Xanax, the Valium, the Ativan, the Klonopin, but we will talk about that a little bit later in the stream. Papa Midnight, hey, show some love from Hawaii. What's up? What's up? And this is a really good question. And Tori, I think we may have to have a separate stream on this, but this is a really, really good question. And I think it's normal to be, a little bit afraid about, death, and realizing that we will all die one day. But if you're hyper fixated on the fact that, you're going to die one day, then it can be a little maladaptive. But death anxiety is it's tough, right? Definitely tough, right? So the future, It's okay to be a little scared of the future, right? Not too much to the point where we're overly anxious, but it's okay to be a little bit afraid of the future, right? And one of the reasons why I think a lot of people struggle during the pandemic is because we didn't understand like what was going on, number one, and number two, we didn't know what was next, right? And uncertainty leads to anxiety a lot of times, right? If you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from, it's going to be very hard for you to just operate. If you don't know where your next meal is coming from, it's going to be hard to operate. If you don't know where your next job opportunity is coming from, it's going to be tough. If you don't know, if you have a medical condition and you don't know what's going to happen, right? It's really tough to sit there and to be still, right? What's the what's the cure for anxiety? Or I don't say the cure, but how do we deal with anxiety, right? We deal with anxiety by being present and fully immersed in the moment, right? So if we're watching this live stream right now, for the 183 people who are watching, if you're watching and you're let's say you're maybe folding some clothes, or you're having a good time, if you're in the present moment right now, you probably aren't that anxious, right? Because you focus on what's going on right now. So we know that being present helps with anxiety, right? But sometimes you can be as present as possible, and you're focused on the present moment and what's happening in your life, but you're a little bit afraid of what's going to happen in the future. And it's okay to be a little scared of that, right? A little scared. Keep in mind the keyword here is a little scared. So I don't want you to like take it all the way, but it's okay to be a little scared, right? Let me look at some of the comments here. Um, uh, Generalized anxiety disorder. The last year experiencing panic attacks due to the loss of my mom. Chantel, very very sorry to hear that loss. You lost your mom, and I'm very sorry that you're dealing with the panic attacks. I feel like panic attacks is like, or panic disorder is kind of like a supersized generalized anxiety disorder. So a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm anxious," and they could have GAD, which you put up right here, right? But panic attacks is a whole nother beast. Like it's quite scary. Like you literally like like you feel like you're gonna die. Like you feel like this is it. Like I'm about to die right here, right now. I gotta call my mom. Like I'm gonna die. Like it's that is that scary, right? Samantha, I'm scared to lose people I love, like fear of abandonment. That's another fear, right? And you can have a healthy fear of losing this, right? But Samantha, when we take the fear of abandonment and we take it to the extreme, it's going to be very difficult for you to implement boundaries in a relationship or even in work relationships, right? But there, I can say we can have a healthy fear of this, right? It's all about how much it impacts you. How much impairment are you dealing with, right? Happy Halloween, y'all. Happy Halloween, y'all. The future is scary, but I'm working on a new path, and it's been a hard transition with a lot of emotions. Yeah, also the future is really scary. It's like I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, and I try and make it like fun. Like I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Like I might be on the way to the grocery store and I meet somebody, and it changes my life, or I help them out. We never know, so I try and make it a game. Courtney says, not afraid to die, but afraid to suffer. Ooh, oh wow, wow. Hmm. And suffering is a part of life, but hopefully, we'd hope that the suffering that you have is not constant and chronic, and it's something that it's not gonna like just make life that difficult, right? What are your thoughts on agoraphobia? So Keisha, it's definitely real. There's levels to it, and at its most extreme, it makes it very difficult for you to. I think one thing that we don't talk about when it comes to agoraphobia could be like the social impact, right? Like your friends trying to figure out, like, what are you scared of? Like you're not coming out, like what's wrong with you, and then you're trying to like explain, but it's hard to explain when you don't really know what's going on. I believe the best ish way to work on yourself and stay busy to help with the past. I believe the best way is to work on yourself and stay busy. Yeah, Austin, I agree. The more present you can be, and you don't want to overwork yourself, right? We don't want to overwork ourselves to avoid dealing with what we have to deal with. But we want to find a balance, right? And Shalicia, I just want to cry all the time. Hey, nothing wrong with crying from time to time, but we definitely want to leave some space for the the smiles and the elation and the good parts of life. But whatever you're going through, I hope it gets a little bit better for you, Miss Shalicia. All right, let me see. I can't do anything. Bars, grocery shopping, malls, work environment. I'm safe at home. And Keisha, yes, I've seen it where people have a hard time leaving their house, right? And this sets you. So, what does this set you up for? This sets you up for isolation, right? And we know isolation is not good. And Keisha, I'm sure I might be preaching to the choir here. Isolation could lead to a lot of bad things. Like we need human connections as humans, right? But if you're struggling, I think you said you were struggling with agoraphobia earlier. If you're struggling with that, keep in mind that what you're doing right now, this is a form of connection, right? We have 161 people on the live stream right now, and a few thousand will watch it after the fact. So now it's a little family, right? So now you're getting that human connection, and we can start there. And maybe you can try and spend some time with your neighbors, or you definitely don't want to like wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to go to Disney World, right? That might be too much for you. But if we can take it step by step, we might be able to, make some progress. All right. And Amanda says, Samantha Joe, I feel you. I have BPD, and one of those things I deal with is abandonment and betrayal by ones I love. All right. So real quick, before I get to the second thing that it's okay to be a little bit scared of, let me talk about this from the perspective of BPD, or borderline personality disorder. So when I came up with this idea, right, I was thinking more so, about anxiety. But if we're talking about fear, right, or anxiety, fear of abandonment, or fear of betrayal, I think one thing that could be really helpful, and a former patient of mine explained this to me, and I loved how she explained it. Right, she had BPD, and this is one of the days when I was walking around with the students back in Augusta, and I saw the patient, and I said, "Hey, can you explain dialectical behavioral therapy, which is what we use for our patients with borderline, to the students?" So my patient was like, "Oh, my name is so and so, and I have borderline personality disorder, and X, Y, and Z. I like dialectical behavioral therapy because it helps me with this, and that, and decision making, and staying calm, and I enjoy radical acceptance." And the radical acceptance piece is very important. I think if you have borderline personality disorder, or if you're just afraid that people are going to leave you, we have to understand a couple of things real quick before I move to the second point. You can't control whether somebody wants to be in your life or not, right? They can come freely and they can leave. You can't like hold their hand and prevent them from leaving. So when we can radically accept the fact that, yes, I might give my all to somebody, right? I might build that connection with somebody and love them and not want to lose them, and that person could still leave. If we can get to the point that we can radically accept that, you could have a bit of a better time, right? And this is important because if you don't radically accept that, that person could like, they'll have you on a string like a yo-yo. Like, oh, I'm coming, I'm going, I'm coming, I'm going. So once you say, Art, this person could come into my life and they could leave, or they can come into my life and they can betray me. But, I will do my best to be okay, and I think I'm going to be fine. Then you take the power back, right? You still may have borderline personality disorder, but now you have the power. And then when the person comes in your life and then they're like, oh, I'm about to leave, I'm going to go. If you don't do this for me, like I'm going to leave. And you're like, I hate to see you go, but I like, these are my boundaries, and it's gonna suck to see you go. But if you want to leave, that's fine. Then all of a sudden, you have the power now, right? And you can navigate without being at the mercy of the other person. But keep in mind, this is very difficult. So don't be upset if you can't get this far, like in a day. Like it takes time to do this. So just be careful and be nice to yourself, right? Barbara says, "Do you ever get tired of smiling, being strong, being positive? Sometimes I just want to scream and cry, but I can't." Uh, for me, no. I apologize that sound out there, the ambulance. I hope everybody is safe here in LA. But I don't ever get tired of smiling. Sometimes I get frustrated with being positive, and I have to like reinforce. I have to like tell myself, okay, it's okay to have a bad day here and there. But I think that'd be helpful. Like sometimes you may need to scream and cry. But just understand that nobody will have like a perfect day, or we're gonna have bad days here and there, right? It's just about how we navigate through those bad days and what we can do to push through it. All right, I'm gonna drop the second one in here, right? The second thing that it's okay to be a little scared of, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, right? But it's panic attacks. Somebody mentioned it, so y'all must have saw my list as I was writing it out, right? So panic attacks, it's okay to be a little scared of them, right? Now, if you get to the point where you wake up every moment and you spend you spend the majority of your day or a good part of your day, and I agree with what Kyle's saying. It's okay to not be okay every day. I agree with that. But if you spend a lot of time thinking about, I'm gonna have a panic attack soon, I'm gonna have a panic attack soon, or if panic and worry and fear and anxiety dominate your life, then we're at a point where professional help could be warranted. It could be very helpful to go get that. But if you're a little bit like, let's say you've had a panic attack before, right? And you remember how that felt, and you're like, oh, 2 Thursdays ago, I thought I was gonna die, right? Once you have a panic attack, kind of like what Libby's saying here, they're crippling. As I don't think I've seen too many people have a panic attack and then go about their life and say, "Oh, I'm fine," right? And Manny's saying GAD is one constant. Yeah, I can imagine how. Yeah, I can imagine how it'd be like that. A lot of people who've had a panic attack after that experience, right? You almost feel like you've escaped death. So you're like, all right, I was gonna die 2 Thursdays ago, but I managed to live, and now I'm afraid that it's gonna happen again. Right now, if you do it over and over and over again, like Jeannie's saying, she went to the ER twice for them, right? Because you feel like you're gonna die, so you're like, at least let me go to the hospital. They can save me, and then they run their tests and they're like, oh, everything is all right. This may be anxiety. Boom, boom, boom. Right. This is very frustrating. So it's okay to be a little scared about having a panic attack. Right. Let me see what Manny's saying. There's healthy anxiety, which causes us to move, work, but crippling is horrendous. Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And this is very important because I don't want the people. It's more so for the people who are watching this live stream after the fact. I don't want you to watch the live stream and think to yourself, "Oh, it's okay to be afraid of panic attacks. It's okay to be a little scared of them, right? But it's not okay for you to be scared of them constantly. Like if it's impacting your life constantly, right, and you feel like you're not able to do things because of it, then it's at a point where we may want to go see a professional. We may want to talk to somebody and get those thoughts out." Right. Samantha says, I've only ever experienced a panic attack a couple of times, but when it happens, I feel like sleeping the entire next day. And Samantha, I don't know why you feel like sleeping the next day, but it may be because you feel like if you're asleep, you won't have a panic attack, right? Now you can speak for yourself, better, and I'd like to see what you say to that, so people can see, your experience. But I remember I had a patient who he had schizophrenia. His voices were so bad that he would he wanted us to just have him snowed out. Like he wanted Haldol and Zyprexa and Risperdal and Benadryl. He just wanted all of it because he said that when he was asleep, he didn't have to deal with the voices. And I was like, man, I felt so bad. I was like, how can we help this guy and get rid of the voices? Because to want to be asleep, to avoid the fact that you may hear voices, it's a pretty scary thing, right? And that patient was transferred. I'm not sure what, it wasn't my patient for too long, but I think about that from time to time. And Jean says she was exhausted after. Yeah, look, these things are scary. Emily says panic attacks are exhausting. I always get them at work, and I always have to go home because of them. Emily, I'm sorry that was your experience. I'm happy that your workplace seems to be like accommodating of you when you have a panic attack. And Carmen says, we have to tell people they won't die from a panic attack, though. And Carmen, that could be, for the most part, I've seen that to be helpful. But if somebody is, like, let's say somebody is like, oh, I know I won't die, but I'm freaking out. You may have to try different things to ground them. I think Leilani said something about the grounding method. I saw like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 somewhere in the chat, but the comments came in kind of fast. And Libby says there's fear of panic attack and a physical panic attack that feels like a stroke or a heart attack. Yeah, look, these things are very scary, and I personally have never had one. The closest I think I've gotten to it was sleep paralysis, but I still don't think that measures up to what a real panic attack would be. Because once I had the sleep paralysis and then I was able to shake out of it, I woke up and I was kind of breathing heavy for a little bit, but like a panic attack, some of them that I've seen have been like quite. It pretty much if you're not sure whether you have a panic attack or not, you probably haven't had one, and that's okay. Like we wouldn't want you to have one, right? Is quite exhausting. All right, let me see. There we go. Let me go ahead and drop this in here. This is helpful or when it comes to dealing with panic attacks, right? Grounding method is really good for panic attacks, right? So let's say, all right, I can't simulate a panic attack here, right? But assuming I'm having a panic attack and let's say Leilani's here, right? Or Libby's here. Grounding method could be helpful. Acknowledge 5 things around you, right? And what this is going to do is it's going to force you to be present. So I'm acknowledging 5 things. I see that I have, my sparkling water for the water break. I see I got a PlayStation controller. That's 2. I got headphones, number 3. I got my cup of pens. Shout out to Williamsburg, Virginia. And I have a remote. So as I'm looking for these things, I'm not thinking to myself that I'm having a panic attack, right? I'm looking for these things, right? Number 4, acknowledge 4 things you can touch around. Well, see, I messed up because I was touching things, right? But 4 things you can touch around you. That's what I touched. Acknowledge 3 things that I can hear. Right now, I can hear the TV in the living room. The Monday Night Football game is on, so I know that the Cleveland Browns are playing the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Browns were winning last time, so that game is on. I can hear the chair a little bit, and I can hear my stomach growling. Oh yeah, if you hear belly rumbling, that counts. So Leilani, perfect. Yeah, my stomach is rumbling. I ordered some DoorDash to the house, so I should get here maybe in like 15 or 20. But these things are very helpful because that allows you to not be so concerned with what's going on, and it can help bring you back to the present moment. Grounding is amazing. Carmen, I agree. I completely agree. Let me see what Ellen said. Horrible anxiety today. I felt like I was stuck in fight or flight and discombobulated. Ellen, I'm happy that you're doing better now, and I'm happy that you're able to come and share your story. And let's go ahead and give you a love of the show, because there's a lot of people struggling, but you're able to, you struggled and you were able to get past it, and you're able to come and share. And it's helpful to share because when you share, that way people don't feel like they're going through these things by themselves. So I love the show for you, Ellen. And Kendra, yeah, this is me as well. I don't know if we can call this an ADHD thing, but a lot of people with ADHD tend to do it. But I can't call it an ADHD thing. But I always have to have a TV on in the background. I always have to have a TV on in the background. Like I wish I could show. Can I show y'all what the corner of my room looks like without the live stream going off? Yeah, like right here. There's always a TV going on, right? That TV's not making noise, but the TV in the living room, I put it on purpose because I always need like noise around, right? Or maybe I need my dog to be like making noise or just something. Like if I'm in a house by myself and there's no noise, it feels kind of eerie. I'm like, this is weird. I don't like that. It's weird. I've been watching you for a while. And you helped me a lot. I can't watch your lives by watching. Oh, Kayla! Wow, Kayla, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's go and give Kayla a love of the show. I hope it makes the cleaning go by smoother. I really appreciate you. Brown noise, yeah. And I've been doing some research on this because I don't want to get off topic from the original topic, right? Anxiety and things it's okay to be scared of, but I've been doing some personal research on this to see if I'm more productive if I have like brown noise going or like different things. So like I'm I'm still trying to figure some things out. Kyle says DoorDashing gives me anxiety with other people driving reckless. Yeah, I feel like maybe because I'm here in LA, but like when I'm driving out here, I feel like I have to drive for myself and also other people because I see like the, the way people drive, it scares me. Aubrey, I appreciate you. Same with the background noise music that I was playing. Yeah, I always have music. Like I would rather, like, and last thing now, I'll move on to the third thing that's okay to be scared of. I would rather have music playing, and it could be from a genre of music that I don't really like, and I'd rather have that playing than to have silence. And it's funny because sometimes I'll put on like I don't know if people use Pandora anymore, but Pandora used to be hot back in the day. I'll put on Pandora, and I'm like, whatever, just put on Maroon 5 or something. Put on something, and then just to have that music in the background, then I would be like, okay, I'm able to focus now, and then I would learn about all these other songs. So that's how I would, learn about the Foo Fighters and just different types of Sheryl Crow, people that I would listen to normally. I'm like, I kind of like this song, right? So sometimes just having music on, just for me, it makes me very productive. So you'll rarely ever catch me without some type of stimuli, and even in school, I always needed something to be on, or else I couldn't focus, right? Let me see. Oh, this noise helps me in so many ways. I'm starting to like talking about noises more than the original topic, but let me do my best to stay on topic, right? Let me do my best to stay on topic. Your videos are helping my mother understand me finally. Thank you. Ashley, let me give a love the show to you and your mother. I really appreciate that, and it's so convenient to send somebody a video, like a short 8-second video, and for them to get it, right? All right. The third thing that it's okay to be a little afraid about is new social situations. And I know for a fact that there's questions that I'm missing. But we need to have a gaming stream sometime soon because those streams allow us to really, answer questions that I can't really get to. So we'll have one of those stream. We'll have one of those streams soon. This YouTube link is 10 hours long and helps my insomnia migraines, helps me focus. Okay. I put it up. I'll go back and check this out. I may have that like playing in the background. All right, so new social. Leilani, I appreciate it. And, one more thing about music before I move on. I always have to have music until I get overstimulated. Then I just need complete silence. Hey, as long as you can do like what you need to maybe get started, you can just shut it off when you need to. Manny, I'm happy you're able to catch it live. All right, so new social situations, right? It's okay to be a little afraid of this. And I remember when I had posted the social anxiety videos, people were like, "Oh, I think I have social anxiety," or "This happens to me every time I meet somebody. I overshare, or I said something weird, and I don't think people want to be my friends anymore, or I don't know what to say, or like I get like I start to overthink. I get wrapped up in my head." When you're in a new social situation, it's okay to be a little scared, right? Maybe not overly scared to the point where it's social anxiety and you're not allowing yourself to go out and meet people and you're stuck in the house and you're isolating. We don't want that, right? But in a new social situation, it's okay to be a little scared, right? Keep in mind, you don't know who these people are, right? You don't know who this person is. You've never been to this place before, more than likely. So you have to kind of figure your way around, and keep in mind, like think back to when you first met some of your friends, right? You probably didn't go out there or maybe if maybe you're talking to a person, you went out there and you were able to talk, right? But a lot of times you have to kind of feel people out and be like, like what type of person is this? Or what can I share with this person? So when you meet somebody, there's a lot of thoughts that are going through your head, right? You're reading them, they're reading you, and you're trying to think about, do I have stuff in my face? Do I look good? A lot of times we're overthinking, but it's okay to be a little scared of new social situations, right? Like even when I have to do public speaking, every single time I have to talk somewhere, right? I did a class for the nursing students at Tennessee Tech last week, and right before I had to talk, I felt like my heart kind of drops. Like anytime I have to do some type of public speaking, if I'm at a comedy show, if it's a comedy set, right before my heart drops. It could be the same set I've done, but like I get a little scared, and even before I go on live stream, like not as much because like this is like a comfort zone for me, but just a little bit of like, like I'm familiar with Leilani, Kendra, Libby, and there's a lot of people here I'm familiar with, but Brett, I'm familiar with Brett, but there's gonna be new people popping in from time to time, and you get acclimated to them, but there's nothing wrong with being a little scared of a new social situation. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't automatically mean that you have social anxiety. Now you may have it, right? But it's okay to not be super smooth, right? Like a lot of times, I remember one time I was at VidCon. Really, really funny story. Really funny story. And Livy, I'll talk about the comedy in a second. But I was at VidCon, and I thought that I knew this girl from social media, right? I thought we were mutual friends, right? So I walk up to this to this girl, and I'm like, hey, I start to talk. I'm like, hey, like I love your videos, or like we've been messaging back and forth. And she looked at me like, she's like, she didn't say anything, but in her mind, she's like, I don't know who you are, like who the F you are. And I looked at her a little bit, and I'm like, oh no, the girl that I'm friends with has like brown hair. She has like blondish hair. And then in my mind, I'm like, oh shoot, I got the wrong person, right? I should have been like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were somebody else. I'm sorry. Instead of doing that, I was like, and I just turned around, and I just walked away. I didn't know what to say, right? And for like 30 minutes, I'm like, if I see that girl again at some event, she's gonna think I'm a weirdo. But I'm like, you know what? You don't have to be the smoothest person. I don't have to be the smoothest person of all time. Like it's okay. I did the best that I could, and I should have said, hey, I confused you with somebody else. But I just walked away. I didn't know what to say. So hopefully I never see her again. Not in a bad way, but I haven't thought of what I will say to her should I see her. So it is what it is. And Libby, yeah, we did one comedy show here in LA, and it was really good. I hope to do more next year because that way it gives me a chance to like connect with people. Number one, it gives me us a chance to laugh. But then maybe we can do a comedy show in Boston or Texas, and that way we can go out there. And of course, you come and laugh, but after that, I can actually like talk to people, and it's just different in person. But Tanner says, "Will my child embarrass me at social event?" Like, I was the type of kid to embarrass my parents, so I see what you're saying with that. And yes, for those of y'all who are not familiar, we have the Discord going. Use this link to join the Discord, and we're always trying to make the Discord better. But we have about 500 people in there. It's like a new family, right? Same family, but a new platform. So it allows us to stay in touch with each other. And I really like where we're heading with Discord. Chantel says, I haven't ever been scared of social situations before, but have started having social anxiety. Big groups is a whole new world for me. I understand now. I truly do. No, social anxiety is very it's confusing because you may want to still go out there and meet people, but you physically can't. Or sometimes I've seen some people who will self-sabotage and do anything but show up at that event where they were supposed to go and meet people. So social anxiety can be quite frustrating. If you're struggling with that, don't go out there tomorrow and try and like be at Disney World, like laughing. Just try having a conversation with your neighbor, compliment the people around you, take it step by step. You don't want to push yourself. Like the easiest path is okay, right? You'll do fine just doing that. We need a new invite. All right. So Austin says we need a new invite for Discord. So this is another ADHD thing that I do. Real quick, we're just gonna go off topic for a second. When somebody asks me to do something that will take like a minute or less, I like to do it right then and there because if I don't, I might forget. And Aubrey, speaking of Utah, real quick, I'm getting distracted, but I love it. Utah is probably my number one vacation spot. Whenever I get some time, I want to go to Utah. People find it weird, but I find Utah to be like calming and relaxing, and I love Salt Lake City. But All right, Discord. All right, so I'm on the Discord thingy invite. Copy link. All right, so I copied the link to Discord, and can I go on my own? All right, I'm gonna go on my own Facebook stream and drop the link in there, the new link. I'm gonna put the sound off because I don't want to hear myself talk. That's weird. All right, I'm watching myself, which is weird. I'm seeing Gino said. Gino asked about an ex-girlfriend who recently broke up with them due to a bipolar episode. All right, I'll talk about that. Let me get the Discord in. All right, so I just dropped the Discord, the new Discord link in there. All right, perfect. And Aubrey, I don't know where Cedar City is at compared to Salt Lake City. I don't know much about Utah, but I know Provo. I've heard good things about Provo. And Leilani, we'll do the water break in just a second. But real quick, to the person who asked and said something about their girlfriend breaking up with them due to a bipolar episode, just know that people have the right to leave if they want to leave, but you should find somebody who will accept you regardless, right? So, let them know, hey, when I have a Mac episode, I need help, like in these ways. Maybe I need you to hold my credit card or do whatever, but don't apologize for whoever you are or whatever you have. That's the simplest way to say that. Do you date women by oh yeah, I date women. We support all groups here, but I date just women, but we support the LGBTQ and non-binary and all that. But yeah, I date just women, but I don't know if I'm taking a break from dating right now. But it'd be nice to have it'd be nice to have a girlfriend sometimes, but then I'm like, I want to watch football all day. Oh, Gina, all right, so this is a question. All right, I already answered that. So I hope, I wish the best for you. But the main thing, Gino, is don't try and change yourself to fit into what you think somebody wants, right? And oh yeah, let's go ahead and do a water break. So Danielle already beat us to it. This is the magic word that we drop in for the water break. It gives us a chance to just, take in some water and to drink it and enjoy, because we often forget to drink water throughout the day. So I got my sparkling water here, but whatever y'all drink is fine with me. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get in the water break. Cheers. Ooh, that spicy water is different. That spicy water is different. Spicy water is different. All right, haven't drank water all day. Thanks, guys. Right. So real quick, this is exactly why we have the water break, because it's very easy to forget to drink water. And I think somebody might be like, "Oh, this is silly." Everybody should drink water, but if you forget, you forget, right? So we have, the water break for that. I date everyone, but haven't dated forever. Okay, respect. Have you ever dated anyone with mental health issues like BPD or bipolar? Oh, this is a good question right here. Ooh, it's a good question right here. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. I have won't say her name. Obviously, won't even say what she does. But can we even call it dating? I don't know if we can call it dating, but I was getting to know a girl, and she told me she had borderline quite early on in the process. And I was like, okay, like, are you taking care of yourself? You're good. And she was fine. Like she never blew up on me or anything like that. It felt like regular, we're not talking anymore, but that wasn't why we stopped talking. But you could date somebody who has BPD or bipolar and maybe have a different experience. Good question though. Dry bar in Utah. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah, we keep the private life private, but I mean, like the stuff is my platform is getting bigger. So at some point, you can only hide a girlfriend for so long, right? But I will be the type to do my best to hide her for as long as possible. All right. Gino. Let me go back to see Gino's question. Hey, Kojo. And kept worrying I'll leave her. Oh, Gino, I'm sorry. I got the question wrong. And Kendra, yes, this does replace the other link. I think on Discord you have to refresh the link every 7 days. So this does replace the link. All right, so Gino, your ex-girlfriend broke it off with you because she was worried that you would leave her. Wondering if I should reach out to her in a few weeks again after contacting her already. Worried that she may be isolating herself. So, good question. Good question. All right, so Gino, stick with me on this one. All right. Now, the first half, if you want to reach out to her because you're worried about her and you're worried that she's isolating herself and you're worried about her mental health and you're reaching out as a friend, do that. Like, that's a good thing to do, because if she's having an episode, you don't know if she's having a manic episode and she crashed and she's depressed, and we don't know what's going on, right? So you can reach out. You can do that now, right? You don't have to wait a few weeks to do that. You can do it right. You can do it tonight. You can do it after the live stream. You can do it mid live stream, right? But reach out to her and make sure she's okay. And you can say, I'm just checking on you just to make sure you're good, right? That's a noble thing to do. Here's the second part. When you reach out to her, kind of complicated. Don't reach out with the expectation that she'll take you back, okay? Because then you're conflating two things, right? Reach out to her just to make sure that she's good. Like, you're good, you're fine, and leave it there. But you probably want to get back with her, and that's fine. And I hope y'all get back together if that's what you want. But when you reach out to her, do your best to do it without any expectation that y'all will get back together, right? Because you might reach out to her and you may be able to help her out at a time in life that she really needs it. But if you have that hidden expectation of, oh, yeah, I'm helping you out, but like, we have to date again, then it's like, you could be disappointed if she doesn't take you back, right? So I would say reach out to her tonight. You don't have to wait for it. Reach out to her tonight, but do your best to not have that hidden expectation. And if you really want to be with somebody, it's gonna be really hard because you're like, dang, like, I really want to be with her, right? But do your best to not have that hidden expectation that she needs to be with you. Just do the noble thing, right? And just reach out and say, hey, I'm just saying, and somebody said, maybe, what somebody say? Maybe, yeah, I like this. Maybe reach her family, right? Let's say you can't hear from her and you're really cool with her brother, right? Let's say you and her brother, y'all play PlayStation together, whatever. Text the brother, say, hey, how's so-and-so doing? I haven't heard from her. I'm just concerned. And, I think that's a noble thing to do. And, I think doing that would ease your anxiety about whether she's okay or not, right? Now, the second part about whether y'all get back together, we don't know. Maybe she'll get back with you. Maybe she won't. But you shouldn't. None of us in this community should be waiting on somebody to get back with us, right? Because you just don't. It's not like you don't put yourself in a position to where you respect yourself, right? Just say, hey, if we work it out, cool. But we're not gonna beg, right? We're not gonna be like, please get back with me, please. No, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna check in with her. You good? All right, cool. I just want to make sure you're okay and leave it there. Now, if she gets back with you, great. But if not, I just don't want you to be very disappointed on the back end not when, but if she doesn't want to get back with you, major anxiety. Kayla, yeah. Shoot, we can do that. And yeah, the lives are usually 30 to 40 minutes, but sometimes I'll be going longer than that. But before we wrap this one up, I actually will do a morning show tomorrow because I missed it today. And I did this bonus show because one of my friends gave me the idea. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go live. So how to handle? All right, I could do major anxiety. All right, 5 ways to handle I guess we can say anxiety to make it generalized. And somebody was asking about All right, okay, all right. We'll get that tomorrow. But 5 ways to handle anxiety. We'll make that the AM show tomorrow. All right. So Kayla, I'll do that for you. And I wish I could somebody could recommend something and I'm like, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. I don't normally get to things that fast, but we'll do that tomorrow. Ashley, thank you for having me. I appreciate you. And yeah, virtual hug for anybody who needs it. Virtual hug. Bring it on in. I wish I could like do that. Yes, trash day reminder. For those of y'all who have trash day tomorrow, mine's on Wednesday, but trash day reminder. I've missed trash day in a while, so I don't want to remember how that feels. But I mean, I'll probably miss it again, but hopefully it's next year sometime. If you forgot to take your yeah, you're right. I had to do this earlier today. Leilani, I'm happy to be had. I appreciate you. And my husband has been the best throughout my mental health, severe panic attacks. Let's go ahead and give a love of the show to your husband. And the last thing I'll talk about is very important to have people who are around you who support your mental health, right? We're talking about mental health more and more now. Keep in mind that people like your husband, right? You picked or maybe he picked you. Maybe the guy asked the girl to marry them, right? But you agreed to be with him, so you picked your partner, right? Keep in mind, y'all, we pick our partners, right? So this isn't like family. Like your spouse, if you believe in marriage, is the only person that you like. Let's say you have a kid with your spouse, right? You're family now, but you don't have any blood connection with them. You picked your partner, right? So pick somebody who is good for you, somebody who takes care of your wants. I mean your needs, not your wants. not your wants, but your needs. Need based. Somebody who, let's say let's say Sandra. This is for example purposes, right? She's dating, right, and she's choosing between two guys. One guy can take Sandra on vacations to Spain once a year, and the other guy can't. But the other guy helps her on a day-to-day basis with her panic attacks and her mental health. Sandra, I would go with the second person, right? Because that person is someone who's good for your soul, and they may not be able to do all the extravagant things or buy you like whatever, but it's good to have people who support you on a daily basis with the things that we actually need help with, like with our mental health. So I just want to, shout out to Sandra's partner for sure. Leilani, we'll be live tomorrow at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. PST. 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 o'clock your time. You're in Tennessee. Remember to let your dog. Yeah, Shelby, I'll make sure my dog pees. But I'm loving all these reminders because that's why I have all these notes and the reminders are helpful. The reminders are very helpful, right? All right, and yes, the Discord is up. I think Austin was able to get into Discord. So the Discord is up. Yep. And then, you're right. Hey, if you're a Facebook user, congratulations. And yes, 6 a.m. in California, 9 a.m. on the East Coast, right? And that's going to be 5 ways to handle anxiety. So that was I forgot it was Kayla's recommendation. So if this is something that would interest you, definitely shout out to Kayla. Thank you for that. But that's it for tonight's show. I'll go check out the Discord for a little bit. I might go live on TikTok too. Who knows? But that's it for tonight's show. I hope you all have a fantastic night. And I will see you all in the morning. All right. I'll make sure that I'm up and ready for that one. All right. All right. Y'all have a good night. I'm having too much fun with it.